This Valentine's Day, give the one you love a gift with endless possibilities. Give a gift card to the Breakers Palm Beach. Breakers gift cards let you treat the one who matters most to the things they love the most, like irresistible oceanfront getaways, lessons at the Breakers' new golf and racket club, pampering at the exquisite spa, and shopping at the resort's stylish collection of on- and off-site boutiques. Gift cards may also be used for dining at the Breakers' renowned restaurants and bars, including Echo, Henry's Palm Beach, HMF, and Flagler's Steakhouse. What's even better? For a limited time, when you purchase a $500 gift card online at thebreakers.com, you'll receive an additional $50 on that card, compliments of the Breakers. This Valentine's Day, give the one you love a gift card to the Breakers Palm Beach and remind them why they fell in love with you in the first place. Visit thebreakers.com today.
The all-new 2025 Land Rover Defender 130. Designed for adventure, built for luxury. With seating for up to 8 and power for any terrain, it's ready to take you further. Now with financing as low as 3.9% APR for 48 months. That's just $22.53 a month per $1,000 financed. Visit Land Rover Palm Beach today or go to LandRoverPalmBeach.com to start your adventure in the 2025 Defender 130.
Want to play college football? Register today for the free Orange Bowl Florida High School Football Showcase presented by Baptist Health. Hit the gridiron on Saturday, February 15th at St. Thomas University in Miami Gardens and show off your football skills in front of coaches from across the country for a chance to earn scholarships and aid for college. The event is open to high school juniors and seniors. More than $1 million is awarded each year. Register for free today at orangebowl.org.
Anna Jar and Levine.
Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 1063.
WUUB Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station. Huddle up.
66 Hitch X Vegas Flair. I'm one, ready?
It's time to break down the boldest plays.
Let's go, baby. Boom.
Hardest hits. Woo! And the craziest stories from around the NFL.
Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Fire the cannons.
This is Sunday Huddle with Colin Russo, presented by Hard Rock Bet.
Right when you think you'd have a quiet week in the sports world, boom, bombshell. One of the biggest trades, one of the most shocking trades in recent NBA memory. It's Sunday Huddle presented by Hard Rock Bet on ESPN 1063. Colin Russo, Kate Chumsland with you from the City Play Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. The 2nd of February, the first Sunday Huddle of the new month. Super Bowl a week from today, a bit of an off-season, I guess, look ahead because it's quiet with no football. But thankfully, Shams Charania has got us covered of ESPN and dropped one of the biggest trade bombshells I think that you could possibly imagine. Late last night, the Dallas Mavericks and the Los Angeles Lakers reached agreement on a trade. And the trade, full details. The Lakers receive Luka Dončić, Maxi Kleber from the Dallas Mavericks, and Markieff Morris. The Mavericks get Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a 2029 Los Angeles Lakers first-round pick. The Jazz are the third team involved, and they're picking up 2 picks and Jalen Hood-Schifino. So, a couple things to break down here. Number one is allegedly nobody saw this coming. 0 people saw this coming, and that's including LeBron, that's including Luka Dončić, that's including the rest of the NBA, that's including Anthony Davis. But Mavs general manager Nico Harrison decided to, again, based on reports, take it upon himself to go to the Lakers specifically and offer Dončić in exchange for Davis's services. That was the guy that the Mavericks wanted. It wasn't necessarily a bidding war, best trade available. It was, we want Anthony Davis, and we're willing to give up the 25-year-old superstar in exchange for him. Luka Dončić, of course, as these trades come out, people try to make sense of it. My first reaction is, what? My second reaction was, I can't blame the Lakers at all. I see the vision. If the Lakers get called and said, and are given an opportunity to acquire Luka Dončić in exchange for Anthony Davis, who has played well for the Lakers, yes, is still a very good All-NBA talent player at the moment and has been good for that franchise. If you get called and you get offered Luka Dončić, you say yes. Bottom line. Unless they wanted LeBron, you say yes. That is a no-brainer for Los Angeles. Don't get it twisted. The Lakers, throughout their history, have never been afraid of rebranding, of fixing up what might not be working, of changing things drastically. Never been afraid to do it. Tried to get Chris Paul. They got Steve Nash and Dwight Howard. That didn't work. All right, ship it out. LeBron in the mix. Pau Gasol in the mix. Signed Shaquille O'Neal from the Orlando Mavericks. Or Orlando Magic. Wow. Orlando Magic. Got him. Traded for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in 1975 when he wanted out of Milwaukee. Got Will Chamberlain in the mix from the Warriors. Went and got Magic Johnson in the draft. It's never been a team that's afraid of making the big move. This is a no-brainer opportunity for Los Angeles. Now, off of that, Dallas, I'm not seeing the vision on this one. If you're Dallas, let's talk about what's working versus what's not working. What's working? Number one, Luka. Luka's working. This year, yeah, he's played 22 games. Some conditioning issues, allegedly. He's a little overweight. People are worried about how much he loves it. And he's probably a pain in the rear end to deal with. But the Mavericks are coming off a finals run where he played 70 games, led the NBA in scoring, and as a 5 seed, went to the NBA Finals. And then after 40-ish games, you're going to ship him out? My biggest takeaway from that, from Dallas's perspective, is that this guy must be one of the biggest pain in the rear ends in the NBA. And this team wants nothing to do with it. They didn't want to sign him to the Supermax, which he is eligible. We'll get into the contract details a little later. But he was eligible for a big Supermax, which is the holy grail of NBA contracts coming up this summer, the extension. So now he's no longer available for that. But they shipped him out. And I give the Lakers credit for saying yes. And Dallas, what are you thinking? What are you doing? Talk about losing the fan base. Throwing everybody for a loop. If nobody in the building knew, including the players, you just traded away your blue chip, your guy who sells tickets. The guy you were planning on building a statue of, you just traded away. For Anthony Davis, who is a great player, but is 32 years old. That, to me, is not the right move. He's 30, yes. And Anthony Davis, of course, now has 2 years remaining on an extension before he gets to a player option. So technically 3. Making $55 million a year. And then he's got a player option when he's 34 years old. And I have a hard time believing Dallas signing him to some fat extension after that. So all this tells you is that Dallas all of a sudden thinks that this change is win now. We need to win a title today. We need to win a championship now. With Klay Thompson, Kyrie Irving, Anthony Davis, and a smattering of role players. Gafford, Lively. Lively's a good player, hasn't played much. Gafford, Lively, so on and so forth. This team would have been excellent in 2018, 2017. Now you got a bunch of guys on the wrong side of 30, and you shipped out the one guy who is a perennial top 10 player in the NBA. And it's not even, Luka requested out. Apparently, Luka had no idea this was coming. And he had no idea that he was even in the market for a trade. He did not request a trade. It's the rare occurrence where the team makes the move before the player does. Jimmy Butler trying to make the move before the team does. Dallas, as a team, making a move before the player does, before the player expresses his displeasure. A shocking, shocking turn of events. And if you're the Lakers, I think this tells you a couple things. If you're a Laker fan, I think this tells you a couple things. Number one, if the Lakers are pivoting in this sense to go get Dončić and changing up the identity of that team really quickly, it's a last-ditch effort to get a lot out of LeBron before he retires. And as we alluded to with that previous point, LeBron, if I had to guess, put money somewhere, not this year, next year, done. You get one more year out of LeBron. Because Anthony Davis doesn't cut the marquee star cutout of the Los Angeles Lakers, who has always needed a star its entire run of the history, of the historicalness of that franchise. Always needs a star. Anthony Davis is not that. They need a 1A star. Luka fits the mold. It also tells me that, LeBron's got a year left on his deal after this year. I could see him in the summer going, this is going to be my retirement tour. And then hand the keys off to Luka and sell your tickets that way. No brainer for the Lakers. No brainer. But if you're Dallas, you got a lot of explaining to do on the court, off the court to your fans. A lot of explaining to do. Fans are going to tune out. They're going to check out. You better win some games. And with the trade deadline looming, maybe even make another trade. Are the Mavericks looking at Jimmy Butler? Can they even make that work? Are they trying to restructure this entire team with a bunch of on the wrong side of their prime 30-year-olds and go for a playoff run? Is that what they're trying to do? The Butler, Kyrie, Anthony Davis last-ditch effort to get a championship? I don't know. Very strange move. Shocking move in the NBA. And I cannot imagine that Anthony Davis is overly thrilled with this move. And maybe for Dončić, the Lakers, they might be pleased because if you get a pissed off Luka Dončić who gets healthy, if the weight conditioning is a problem, you motivate him, disrespect him. Now he's losing a whole lot of money. Texas to California state taxes, no more Supermax availability with the Mavericks. You shift over to the Lakers, who cannot sign you for as much money as Dallas could have because it's not the team that drafted you. There's a whole bunch of rules with the new CBA. We'll get into it. But now you got to motivate him on a big stage with LeBron. They got a great side of this deal. I'm very confused on Dallas's endgame here. Very confused. Because if you think that Kyrie Irving, Gafford Lively, Klay Thompson, and Anthony Davis is the way to get you over the hump, I don't know if I see that vision. I cannot see that vision. Comparatively to what Luka offers you. Luka, for example, in terms of scoring, in terms of playoff effectiveness, smaller sample size, but he is the third highest scoring average in the regular season in the history of the NBA. Behind who? Michael Jordan and Wilt Chamberlain. 28.6 points per game. All right. In the playoffs, he averages 30.9 points per game. Second most all time. Behind who? Michael Jordan. So you're talking about a guy who's a great regular season performer, a great postseason performer, and is 25 years old. For Anthony Davis, who was going to be 32. And people want to overrate his injury history. Fine. The injuries is not that much of a problem at the moment. I'm thinking long term. Right now, yeah, you might get something out of it because you're worried that Luka's out of shape or whatever it may be. He's hurt, can't get healthy. But Luka, for 5 years running, has been an all-NBA first teamer. He's played in his career 72 games, 61, 66, 65, 66, and 70 last year. This year, he's missed about 20 games. You got a guy who's playing 65-plus games per year fairly consistently at 25 years old, who's a great postseason performer. That is a confusing move. Dallas is going to need to make another move here to make this all feel real, feel worth it. Because I, for one, am not seeing the end game here. 888-760-3776, the number to get into the program over on Sunday Huddle, presented by Hard Rock Bet on ESPN 1063 with Colin Russo, Cade Chumsland. 888-760-3776. If you see the vision from Dallas' side, from the Mavericks' end, and want to explain it to me, please, I invite you to get into the program. 888-760-3776 on your Sunday drive. Give us your reactions. Luka Dončić, Anthony Davis, one of the biggest trades, biggest shocks that the NBA's had in a long time. You got to talk about who's happy, who's sad about this type of thing. Number one, who's happy? Dončić, I'm not saying he's happy that he's getting out, but I think the Lakers are quite happy with the Luka that I think is going to walk into that building. Pissed off, a little disrespected, something to prove all of a sudden. And a marketable star who's playing in Dallas, sort of falling behind, out of the limelight. You put him back in the Lakers, where the stars shine the brightest. You got a marketable superstar on your hands. Who else is happy? I got to assume that Adam Silver is over the moon about this. Why? Because finally, it's some NBA news that sweeps the nation that isn't negative, that isn't about the league itself, that isn't about the amount of stars that play, or changing up the game, or the three-pointers, or the quality of play, or NBA League Pass. It's not about that. It's actually about the league. That is why Adam Silver, the league needed a shot in the arm. This is that. This adds a little bit of drama, a little bit of intrigue to what you're watching on the court. So he's happy. LeBron, he might not say it. I know Anthony Davis might be his guy, but there is no way LeBron is not happy about this. No way. LeBron has got to be pleased about this. The upside with what you were getting, the Lakers, of course, having a pretty good year. Pretty good year. Middle part of the Western Conference. They're sitting at 28-19, the 5 seed. Who's the 4 seed? Denver. Might be wondering why Denver? Well, the Lakers and the Denver Nuggets have played the last 2 postseasons, and the Lakers can never get past them. Lost, 8 of 9 playoff games? Got swept last year and lost in 5 before that. They don't want to deal with that again. That team is built to beat the Lakers. Luka adds something different. You're looking for upside. Might be something there. And the Lakers finally got a marketable star that could take up LeBron's mantle of being that marquee, marketable personality superstar in that market. Very, very, very good trade for the Lakers. No problem there. You're going to have to get used to it. You're changing up the momentum and identity of your team halfway through the season, where you ran through Anthony Davis, but now you got a primary ball handler who is a good postseason performer, if healthy. If the Lakers can make a move for a big now, you change things up a little bit. Might be, with the perimeter talent that they have, there might be something there. Nothing to win a championship, but you got a star that could last you the next 10 years. 25 years old, Luka is. 25 years old. And Dallas, who sits in the 8th seed of the Western Conference, and that's with half the games missed by Luka, they're 26-23. Kyrie's been fairly available, but Luka has been hurt. And according to Tim McMahon of ESPN, it has been about weight conditioning issues. Too heavy, injury prone, tough to deal with. Not sure how much he loves it. That is the Mavericks overthinking. Because if you were a year removed from 70 games played and an excellent postseason run that got you to the finals, when you lose to a much, much better team that's built to beat you, that to me is overthinking. Trying to turn your long term into a short term. Luka And what he offered for that franchise was long-term. He was going to sign, likely, that Supermax extension, which would have been $350 million over 5 years, which only the team that drafts him can give. So now he can't get that anymore. Would have been $346 over 5, I believe. $346 million. He would have signed that, and then boom, next 10 years, essentially, you got your guy. You got your 1A, entering the prime of his career. Instead, you shift that out and shift in a proven All-NBA player, yes, but with limited longevity, with a bunch of other guys with limited longevity. Kyrie, Klay Thompson. How much longer can those guys really churn deep playoff runs out? Experienced, all champions for different teams. Kyrie, Thompson, all experienced. But at their ages, how many of those playoff runs can you expect? Kyrie's 32. Thompson, I want to say 34? 34. So you got a 32-year-old, a 32-year-old, a 34-year-old trying to figure this all out. There's not that clock is ticking if you're Dallas. Dallas is going to need to explain a whole lot of things here. They're going to need to make it work quickly on the court before those fans tune out. And they're going to need to make another move here. That's the only rationale. I've been trying to find a rationale all morning about why, if you're Dallas, why you do this. And that is because you were trying to construct a win now, win this year roster. And this roster currently with Anthony Davis does not cut it. Probably needs something more. That does not compete with the Thunder of the world, of the Nuggets. That does not compete with that. You need something a little bit more. If that's Jimmy Butler, maybe. Then you got yourself that 2-year window where it's all in. Sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. Didn't work for the Nets, then they blew it all up. But you're turning your long-term stability into a short-term firework that might explode in your face. That is what the Dallas Mavericks have done. So we'll see. 888-760-3776, the number to get into the program, 888-760-3776. Got a lot to do today on Sunday Huddle presented by Hard Rock Bet. We try to talk about and break down the contract implications, why this really does not make any sense for Dallas. And number two, how Luka got screwed here. Talk about why he might be pissed off. You might be wondering why I said that. Well, he's losing out on millions and millions of dollars. You want to motivate an NBA star nowadays? Everybody has questions about that. You take away some of his money. We'll get into that and more next. It's Sunday Huddle presented by Hard Rock Bet on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Let's be honest. If your performance in the bedroom feels more like, uh-oh, than whoa, you're not alone. But don't worry, we've got just the thing for you. Hexus MD's new Performance Blend. No awkward doctor visits, no prescriptions with crazy side effects, just a powerful, easy-to-use pill that gets you back in the game. Hexus MD's new Performance Blend works in just 15 minutes, and it's stronger than the competition. Use discount code ESPN50 for 50% off your first order. Don't wait. Visit HEXISMD.com.
Hi, it's Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike. Today, the Pro Bowl is live on ESPN 106.3, where the best NFL players come together too. Well, nobody knows why. It is football, right? Is it a carnival? Is it just a meet and greet? I don't know. But it'll be entertaining. We go live to Orlando at 3.
Business owners, are your employees driving you nuts? Is money tight? Or have you just poured your heart and soul into your business and now it's time to retire and just relax? At Transworld Business Advisors, they have buyers from all over the world ready to buy your business now. Call for a confidential conversation about your business's current value. 561-203-5121. That's 561-203-5121 or visit tworld.com today.
Good Greek moving and storage. Your superhero movers.
The all-new 2025 Range Rover Evoque, where bold design meets refined luxury. Ready to elevate your drive? With 3.9% APR for 60 months, it's the perfect time to make your move. For well-qualified buyers, that means payments as low as $1,837 a month per $1,000 financed. Visit your Land Rover Palm Beach off Okeechobee Boulevard. Or head over to LandRoverPalmBeach.com and experience the 2025 Range Rover Evoque today.
Imagine a place where the sun is always shining, the drinks are ice cold, and the food is bursting with flavor. Welcome to Hurricane Grill and Wings, where locals and visitors alike gather to weather this storm we call life, and you can escape here anytime you like. Today's forecast, hot, crispy wings with a 100% chance of frothy beers. Later, we're predicting big burgers and seafood tacos moving in, even better with a Pepsi. Escape from the ordinary at one of our locations. Visit hurricanewings.com to visit your nearest spot and enjoy a taste of summer all year round.
Years of hard work have led to this. It's National Signing Day on ESPN 106.3. Top sports talent from around Palm Beach County and the Treasure Coast pick their college homes. From in-state staples like the Gators and Knowles to national powerhouses like Ohio State. Tune in as our local stars continue their sports journey. National Signing Day is presented by HSS, Kaiser University, Smith Ball Bias and Prather, Culligan, and the Orange Bowl.
At St. Lucie Battery and Tire, batteries came before tires. We've been selling and servicing all types of batteries for over 50 years. So when you need a battery for nearly anything, we have it, as well as the fast professional installation you need. We carry premium batteries for all your needs: automotive, commercial, marine, RV, and specialty. We also offer delivery and on-site installation, serving our customers quality products for over 50 years in the home of honest, reliable service. Go to slbt.com and book your next appointment.
Hi, this is Evan Cohen. I'm back, baby! Unsportsmanlike every morning, 6 to 10 a.m. right here on ESPN 106.3.
Roll with Hard Rock Bet for Big Game 59 because we are rolling out over $5.9 million in bonus bets. The big game kicks off Sunday in New Orleans, but get your share of Big Easy bonus bets now so you can place more bets on us instead of using your own cash. It's the big game rollout. 5.9 million in promos only on Hard Rock Bet. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Red right, 24 double Puma on one. Replay.
This is Sunday Huddle with Colin Russo, presented by Hard Rock Bet.
Sunday Huddle presented by Hard Rock Bet on ESPN 106.3. Colin Russo, Kate Chumson with you from the City Place Studios in downtown West Palm Beach at the City Place on ESPN 106.3. Luka Dončić traded from the Dallas Mavericks now to the Los Angeles Lakers in exchange for Anthony Davis, a slew of other ones. Only one pick the Lakers gave up in that one first-round pick, and got the 25-year-old superstar who has been hindered by a left calf strain, missed 18 games because of that. So been hindered. People worried about his conditioning. But Lakers got a new star. They've rebranded once again the Los Angeles Lakers, who have done this for their entire franchise's history. Do it once again. They keep people on their toes. I think they got a great get back for that trade. Dallas, on the other hand, we got some questions about that. We got some quotes from Nico Harrison, the general manager, that we will read in just a few short moments. First, I got to tell you about our presenting sponsor, Hard Rock Bet. Go download it today. Get started on the Hard Rock Bet app, or go download it today. Google Play Store, Apple App Store, hardrock.bet, online to get started. Hard Rock's great because the Discover page is so easy and so suited to the newer player that you can just go check it out and see what other parlays that other users in the app have put together. All of a sudden, a few taps later, you're tailing it. You're doing it with them. That's how easy it is. So if you're the newer bet player, you don't really know what to bet, know how to put together a parlay or even a good one at that, check out the Discover page and tail along what other people are doing. Or if you're the experienced player and you want to put together your own parlay, bet as little as $1, put anything you want in that parlay. It's that easy. Sophistication that matches the experienced player, but simplicity that is necessary for the newer player. That's how good Hard Rock the app is. Go try it now. Get up to $100 back in bonus bets if your first bet does not hit. That first bet can be a parlay, prop, the over, whatever you like to bet. Any game you choose, win that first bet or get the same amount you bet back as a bonus bet. It's offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida. The wager. Terms and conditions apply. Considered by gambling. Call 1-888-ADMIT-IT. So, General Manager Nico Harrison of the Dallas Mavericks spoke with the Dallas Morning News, but said that him and Rob Pelinka, who's the general manager of the Los Angeles Lakers, Had a 2-decade-long relationship, so these were kind of casual conversations, basketball conversations more than a month ago. Then went on to say, quote, then all of a sudden we're like, would you ever do this? No, you're joking, right? Went on to say that, interesting, maybe I would. So it was kind of a feeling out process back and forth that even they were not even believing that either side would even be remotely interested. And then over the last 3 weeks, Harrison said that it was built over time in the last 3 weeks. And Nico Harrison went on to say, we really feel that we got ahead of what's going to be a tumultuous summer. Him being eligible for the Supermax and also a year away from him being able to opt out of any contract. And so we really felt like we got in front of that. We know teams, they've had it out there. Teams have been loading up trying to sign him once he becomes available. So he's thinking, my read on that is that Luka was never going, there were whispers at least in the building that he was going to test markets or make himself available. Or they just had an inclination that he wasn't going to be a Dallas Maverick for life. He didn't say anything, but if his read internally was, I don't want to be playing the bidding game in the Luka Dončić sweepstakes, or I don't want to spend this amount of money on Luka today. Instead, I just want to get ahead of it. Finally, Nico Harrison said, we really feel that defense wins championships, and we think the players that we're bringing in add to the culture, which is important to what Jason Kidd, the head coach, and I have been building here from day one. When you get an all-NBA player who's also a first-team all-defensive player, we think that's going to help us where we need it most on the defensive end. Well, Luka's not a great defender. That is abundantly clear. But if they think that defense wins championships and we should ship out our 25-year-old ticket seller in exchange for that, I'm a little confused. Cade Chumsman, our man behind the glass today. Cade, this has been a shocking trade in NBA terms. There's not even an NFL equivalent to something like this. Only the NBA can have this type of blockbuster trade, maybe even since the Juan Soto trade. But both sides, you're trying to see the vision here because now you got two fan bases that are going to need to come to grips with the fact that both their teams are changing drastically with halfway through the season with the playoffs in about 2.5 months. And it's, for me, this is as confusing for the Dallas perspective as it gets for the Lakers. Imagine if there was a all-world, all-pro superstar and they call you, say, hey, you want him. That's the type of thing where you got to say yes.
It's pretty wild. I saw this headline last night and thought it was a joke. I thought it was like a conspiracy theory.
Shams even had to say, yes, this is real.
Yeah. And the first headline I saw was the one that Brian Windhorst said, like, LeBron was at a restaurant when he found out about this. Absolutely no one saw this coming. So when I wake up this morning and you're texting me saying, hey, we got to talk about the Luka thing this morning, I was like, wait, that's real? Wait, I had to like recheck everything to make sure it was real. It's completely wild, and especially when we thought we had the biggest NBA trades in history. We had the whole Brooklyn situation, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, James Harden. And at that point, I thought that was it. Like Kevin Durant to the Warriors, Kevin Durant to the Brooklyn Nets. We had some of these trades that were just mind-boggling. This, in my opinion, has blown them out of the water because you've got two of the biggest stars in the entire association who are switching teams with historic franchises that you thought they had permanent spots on those teams. I've been listening to you. I've been agreeing with a lot of things you have been saying. From the Mavericks perspective, I want to add one more quote that Nico Harrison said. I believe that defense wins championships. You mentioned that a second ago. I believe that getting an all-defensive center and an all-NBA player with a defensive mindset gives us a better chance. We're built to win now and in the future. Are we sure? Are we sure that this is the trade that gets you over the hump for that? Because I don't know about you, Colin, but I think that the win now and in the future was kind of set in stone with Luka Dončić. Right? The whole point of the fact that you're in a win-now mentality is because Luka is the one putting up 28 points per game, the one that's keeping you in ball games, and even though he's got a poor defensive performance, this Mavericks team is allowing 112.7 points per game. They're scoring 115.6. It's a plus 2.9 point differential. You know another team that's allowing 112 points per game? The Los Angeles Lakers. And they're only scoring 112 points per game. The fact is that the points and the defense are both there. It's the winning mentality. It's the actually putting a W on your side of the scoreboard. Luka Dončić is not a problem when it comes to that. He is a dog of all dogs when it comes to the NBA. I'm a little shocked that this is the time that you're going to pull the plug on Luka Dončić. Because you already mentioned before, the kid comes alive in the playoffs. You made a run as a 5 seed last year. Why not just focus on getting a few more wins now, and then you can come alive in the playoffs? I know Anthony Davis has a great career in the playoffs as well, but when you're talking about a guy who's never going to give up on a fight, who has taken down a number 1 seed in the NBA playoffs, I believe that was, 5-6 years ago when they beat the Suns, right? This is a guy who is confirmed to be that guy in the playoffs. Not a guy who you need to worry about coming alive when he needs to most. And the fact that he is being disrespected like this, the Lakers, they're not necessarily going to be a scary team. I don't think anyone's taking them as legit contenders, even though they're the 5 seed currently. But they are just a big man away from really doing something special. Austin Reeves, Dalton Knecht, LeBron James, and now Luka Dončić. It's almost unfathomable to really think about. The other part that I don't think we've really talked about yet is I think the other reason why Adam Silver is excited is it's a huge stab against player empowerment. The number one complaint that I've been hearing a lot in media is about players who are always getting what they want and the owners have their hands tied behind their backs.
Good point.
That's not the case here. The owners were the ones who went behind everyone's backs and said, we're doing this because we can. These are our players. These are our teams. We're not going to talk to anybody else. I want this guy. You want this guy. Let's make a trade happen. No one saw it coming. No one could make an objection. And now the owners are the ones back in charge, at least for right now with this trade. I think Adam Silver is thrilled about the owners being the ones to take over and making a business decision. Whether or not it's a good one, it's a one that they made without the players saying anything about it.
Yeah, there's something to that. The fact that this is a owner-dominated and management-dominated decision when usually it's the management that is being strung along by the players. It was sort of flipped here in more of the traditional sense of we made a move here that no side has requested, that no side really wanted, but we think that it will mutually benefit both our basketball teams long-term and short-term, and we need to change of pace, so we did that. So I think there's something to that. And I also think if you're the Lakers, you need a star. LeBron is not going to be there forever. Anthony Davis does not sell tickets like LeBron does. Anthony Davis does not sell tickets like Luka will. That will make a difference. And I agree with you on the point of the Lakers probably, if I had to make a guess here, let's just think about this out loud. The Lakers go and acquire Luka Dončić, get Kleber as well. With a first-year head coach, a guy who has never coached at a professional or college level before, J.J. Redick, in his first year, 40 games through, pretty successful. You're going to ask him to change up the identity, the momentum, the consistency of that team mid-year and try to put together a playoff run. It's a tall task. It's a tall task to ask out of J.J. Redick and that team. So from that perspective, punt's not the right word. It seems a little bit like we're going to get to the postseason, but lifting that Larry O'Brien trophy at the end of the year is not at the utmost of priorities at the moment.
But I think we can go back to what you said earlier and the fact that the Mavericks said, hey, we want Davis. Do you want Luka? What are you going to say as the Lakers?
Yeah, you're going to say yes.
Right?
And it tells you that they didn't think that they were going to do anything with Davis because if they thought they were championship ready, championship now, they wouldn't have made the move. But when, that type of gift falls into your lap, you kind of just got to do it and then just try to make it work. But it tells me that they're not really thinking about how the first-year head coach will respond to that, how LeBron will respond to that. They're just trying to get him in the building, get the Lakers across his chest, and then go from there.
Do you think it's fair to assume that Lakers, with conversations with LeBron, knew that he wasn't necessarily going to leave in 2 years? That he could retire as a Laker? Because
As in LeBron.
Yes.
LeBron's not leaving. He is going to retire a Laker.
Okay, so here's the other thought process about all this. Can LeBron, at his age, with what he could demand for another 2-year contract, is there a sense that the Lakers knew they couldn't win a championship with him and with Davis as a duo? Davis is also getting
you don't make the trade if you don't think you're going to win a championship with them.
Okay.
Or when you don't think you're going to win the championship, then you're okay with making the trade.
Could I propose a hypothetical?
Okay.
That the Lakers trade LeBron James to the Cleveland Cavaliers for Jared Allen.
No. What? Why?
Cleveland is in a win-now mentality. Number one in the Eastern Conference.
What do the Lakers get out of that? Jared Allen?
Jared Allen, but a whole bunch of picks. I'm not saying it's just that. What I'm saying is that the Lakers' biggest need right now that Anthony Davis is gone, is a big man. They have no one to guard the paint. You now have an elite scorer with Luka Dončić. Dalton Knecht is looking like the best rookie in the NBA right now. Austin Reeves is still a great player. Rui Hachimura is not bad. And now you need a big man.
So you want to go get Jared Allen and trade the most prolific NBA star this century in exchange for Jared Allen? That's where you're suggesting.
I'm looking for a big man, and Jared Allen seems like a man who I think will.
I'm not even going to begin to exercise this hypothetical. Cade, why would they do that? He left Cleveland. He won them a championship. He has no interest in going back. He has immortalized himself within that franchise. He's with the Lakers now. His son is on the team. Why would the Lakers even exercise that thought? Why would he be okay with that? Because they're not trading him without him being Davis is one thing. They're not trading LeBron without him being okay with that.
The Lakers are in a less position right now to win a championship than they were with
and
Anthony
they would
Davis.
be with but they would be with Jared Allen.
Forget Jared. That was the first guy who came to my mind because the Cleveland Cavaliers are in a win now mentality and they would love to have LeBron James. Kristaps Porzingis. Give me another elite big man to work with Luka Dončić and the rest of this Lakers team and go get a king's ransom because they didn't have to give up too much for Luka in the first place outside of Anthony Davis. If you're the Lakers, you have nobody to help on defense right now. Davis was that defense. So are you going to ride out LeBron James for the next 2 years with Luka Dončić and just put up a bunch of points and have everyone else score on you as well? They're still not a championship team. And you don't go for Luka Dončić in the first place unless you want to build around him and create a championship team.
You're acting like there's a big time bomb on this, too. Luka's 25 years old. They have a long time. If they're able to get him under contract when he's there's a big logistical couple hoops they got to jump through to make sure he gets the Supermax, which he will try to do. I think he needs to get to his 10-year service time, and then he is eligible for the 35% of the cap. Neither here nor there. It's the new CBA rules. He needs to sign like a 2 or 3 year deal, play that out, and then he can sign a big contract. Point being, you're acting like this. They need to figure it out in the next 2 weeks. They don't need to do that. You think they're going to give up a LeBron retirement tour where they're going to sell out every game to the excess of what possibly you could sell for a ticket? They're going to do that so Luka can get a defensive prospect with him in the lineup? No, they're not going to do that. They're not LeBron. If there's an untouchable, if there's one still untouchable in the NBA, above all else, it's LeBron. Nobody is going to trade for him because nobody can afford him. Nobody can. He sells tickets. He is the ultimate star. He will. You're right. Raise the floor of any playoff caliber team. They're not getting. Okay, that's not going to happen. I would be blown to shreds if that happened. That's not going to. The Lakers aren't thinking like that. What they're thinking of is stars. We need a star. We'll figure out the lineup when we figure out the lineup. Luka is a sellable, marketable, an elite all-NBA player who's young. That is the guy to take up that mantle post LeBron. And when he falls into your lap, they probably weren't even thinking about it. Then Nico Harrison calls in saying, hey, I like Anthony Davis. What do you think about Dončić? What? Yeah. That's a no-brainer. Agree with you there. But this is not, you get Dončić, let's blow everything up to try to make it work around Dončić. When you're on LeBron's team, you make it work with LeBron. You got a ball-dominant guard now. They're going to win games. Not going to win a championship, but both healthy in a playoff series. Win a series or two for sure. For sure. But from my perspective, I think this is, from the Lakers' perspective, actually, no-brainer. And you need to make another move? Sure. Probably you need to get a big? Sure. Anthony Davis expressed his displeasure with being the 5, being the center, wanted the center next to him. All right, well, you go to Dallas, then you got one. The Lakers weren't trying to maneuver too much there. But if the Lakers can put together a somewhat package to get a big in the mix, it's not a win championship team, but it's a dangerous team. I think this is a no-brainer. Getting rid of LeBron financially makes no sense. Business-wise makes no sense because Luka Dončić and Jared Allen at the Crypto Center in downtown Los Angeles? No. Nobody's going to buy tickets then. For me, this is about when LeBron gets that retirement tour, and he will next year, 2 years, whatever it is. They're going to sell out every game. Every star you've ever heard of is going to be at those games. And then they got somebody who could sell tickets post-LeBron. It's not all about selling tickets. You got to win some games. But Luka is good enough where he could keep you winning games. And number 2, he's a star that the Lakers fit. He fits the mold. So, Lakers side, no problem. Dallas has got, like you said, a lot of explaining to do. Because if you want to go win now mode, you better start winning now. You get half the season to go. If this just blows up and you lose the first round of the postseason because the chemistry's all wonky and Davis is not liking his role in Dallas and the bigs get hurt or he's requested to be a 5, you go get Jimmy Butler and you get rid of one of the great centers, young centers that they have in Gafford or Lively. Then all of a sudden Davis is back to playing the center, doesn't want to do that. Then you lose the first round of the postseason, being in the 7 seed. You're losing the play-in, God forbid. Those fans are going to raise hell in Dallas. And then watch Luka and LeBron take the Nuggets to 7 in a classic playoff series that draws interest, buzz, sells tickets, and it works. Watch that happen. Then I got to feel for the Maverick fan at this point. What are you doing? Very, very, very bizarre. 888-760-3776, the number to get into the program. That's 888-760-3776. Now, contractually, Luka is no longer eligible for the Supermax because you have to sign it with the team that drafted you or trade draft day, I understand. But that's the rules surrounding it. Now, there's logistics that he now has to jump through with acquiring the money that he now had lost because of him getting traded. He's no longer eligible for that Supermax. It was supposed to be $345 over 5 years. Now the most he could get is $296 over 5 years. It's a $50 million difference. Major financial implications for Luka. Piss off an NBA star. How do you do it? Disrespect them with money. That is what, there's an intrigue with the Lakers now because of that, if he gets healthy. If that left, and he was supposed to come back before All-Star break, so we'll see him before the end of the month. But with him and LeBron now, you got to change some things up in terms of dynamic, but selling tickets, buzz, there's something there. For those of you who are getting sold on Klay Thompson, Kyrie Irving, and Anthony Davis with Jason Kidd at the helm, all right, 3 champions. Fair. But took out the formula of that franchise and replaced it with a soon-to-be 32-year-old Anthony Davis. That needs some explanation. I am trying to talk myself into why Dallas would do this. Still looking for something. Still looking for a sense of why. When you're the one who initiated this. Why don't you start a bidding war? Why don't you make him available and let other teams send out these incredible hauls for Luka because he would warrant it. Because he got 2 years of control. You could sign him, extend him in the current league year. Why don't you make him available? Luka Dončić is available for trade. 27 teams called. 28. So I don't know why they didn't do that, because that would have been the way to get the most out of this. Dallas only got one first-round pick from the Lakers. One first-round pick for a 25-year-old perennial, not even all-star, all-NBA caliber player. One first-round pick. At least get a haul of 5 to 6. Paul George got more than that. Paul George, it was Gilgeous-Alexander, about 9 picks. This was Jalen Williams. If Paul George warrants that, if Rudy Gobert warrants the package that he got, you're going to need to talk some sense into me on what Dallas is doing. We roll on here at Sunday Huddle, presented by Hard Rock Bet on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Roll with Hard Rock Bet for Big Game 59 because we are rolling out over $5.9 million in bonus bets. The big game kicks off Sunday in New Orleans, but get your share of Big Easy bonus bets now so you can place more bets on us instead of using your own cash. It's the big game rollout. 5.9 million in promos only on Hard Rock Bet. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Can't make it to New Orleans for the big game? Join us at Duffy's Sports Grill with 2 ways to score big on Sunday, February 9th. Duffy's Big Game Day experience, starting at just $25, includes a guaranteed front row seat, complimentary welcome drink, touchdown tots, official Duffy swag, and more. Tailgating on your home turf? Pre-order your game day eats and score double MVP points. Visit Duffy'sMVP.com to learn more. At Duffy's, our game is always on.
This Valentine's Day, give the one you love a gift with endless possibilities. Give a gift card to the Breakers Palm Beach. Breakers gift cards let you treat the one who matters most to the things they love the most, like irresistible oceanfront getaways, lessons at the Breakers' new golf and racket club, pampering at the exquisite spa, and shopping at the resort's stylish collection of on- and off-site boutiques. Gift cards may also be used for dining at the Breakers' renowned restaurants and bars, including Echo, Henry's Palm Beach, HMF, and Flagler's Steakhouse. What's even better, for a limited time, when you purchase a $500 gift card online at thebreakers.com, you'll receive an additional $50 on that card, compliments of the Breakers. This Valentine's Day, give the one you love a gift card to the Breakers Palm Beach and remind them why they fell in love with you in the first place. Visit thebreakers.com today.
Improve your golf game fast at the all-new Kaiser University Golf Coaching Center. The Kaiser University Golf Coaching Center has the facilities, tools, and coaching you need. Enjoy the best facilities in the area with an expansive chipping and putting area, practice bunkers, a huge putting green, plus a 2,000 square foot indoor training area with 3 hitting bays, cutting-edge analysis technology, and more. The Kaiser University Golf Coaching Center in the heart of Palm Beach County off I-95 and the Turnpike. Find out more at KaiserGolfCenter.com.
Hi, this is Scott Smith with Smith Ball Baez and Prather, Florida Injury Lawyers. We are a Florida civil trial law firm that specializes in the areas of personal injury and wrongful death. Our offices are located in Palm Beach Gardens, Boca Raton, and Port St. Lucie. Our lawyers have litigated thousands of matters at the Palm Beach, Martin, St. Lucie, and Indian River County courthouses. Our lawyers, paralegals, and other numerous members of our legal team live in Palm Beach County and Treasure Coast cities and towns such as West Palm Beach, Port St. Lucie, Lake Worth, Palm Beach Gardens, Palm City, Jupiter, and others just like you and your families. We are a statewide recognized law firm, but it is your community and your families that we live and associate with on a daily basis. Our most satisfying achievement is when we know that our legal power has helped a fellow member of our Palm Beach County and Treasure Coast community secure a fair and just huge result. If you've been injured, the lawyers at Smithball, Baez, and Prather will help. Call us at 500-HELP, 500-HELP. With Smithball, Baez, and Prather, help is just a local phone call away. Offices Palm Beach Gardens, Boca Raton, and Port St. Lucie.
Let's go double right, scat right, double cowboy. Double right, scat right, double cowboy.
This is Sunday Huddle with Colin Russo, presented by Hard Rock Bet.
You want to talk about a wake-up call for a player, a wake-up call for a star? You know, stars can get comfortable in their situations. They do what they're supposed to do. They make the postseason. They make some noise. But they could coast through the regular season, making an obscene amount of money, hitting in a small market. A wake-up call could be good for revitalizing a career, for giving a little bit of splash factor. Garnett to the Celtics. It's happened before. When they shift and change franchises, all of a sudden, the motivation is different. And that's big with the NBA star. Dončić, this could be a bit of a wake up. Wake up. Your team just dumped you. How do you feel about that? Your team outwardly searched. Now it's being reported that they approached at least one other suitor for Dončić. And the other team declined, whatever team that was. And now the Lakers say yes, Dončić for Anthony Davis in the trade, amongst others. Now, for me, wake him up, get him rolling, get him healthy, and let him go. Because he will be playing pissed off with something to prove, chip on your shoulder. Wow. Nothing's like pissing off a great professional athlete. Nothing like that. Nothing motivates them more than that. As for what the Mavericks need to do here, we're rolling on here on Sunday Huddle. Last couple of things before we shift out at the top of the hour. 888-760-3776. Reaction to the Luka Dončić, Anthony Davis trade. Right move for the Lakers. Where the Mavericks, can you make sense of what they're doing? Let us know. 888-760-3776. Colin Russo, Kate Chumsden with you on ESPN 1063 from the City Place Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. A week away from the Super Bowl, a week removed from AFC and NFC championship action. Had a packed college slate yesterday. That was seemingly the main takeaway of the weekend. What was going on? Coach Cal returning to Kentucky and Duke, North Carolina, and a slew of other games on a great slate. That seemed to be the story. And then Shams Charania dropped this bombshell late last night. And then now Dončić in exchange for Anthony Davis. Dončić and LeBron, and now Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis. Some people are even going to the point of asking Adam Silver to veto this. Some Maverick fans are so upset with the Mavericks doing this that they're going to Adam Silver, who his predecessor, David Stern, had no fear doing this because he vetoed that Chris Paul trade all those years ago to get him to the Lakers. Asking Adam Silver to veto. Please do something. Get involved. Adam Silver loves this. Adam Silver is licking his chops, thinking about the storylines and the positive NBA buzz that surrounds a big star in Los Angeles. Because the Lakers, post-LeBron, didn't have a lot of answers. Dalton Knecht was not going to be the guy for Los Angeles. Same with Austin Reeves. Dončić can be that. And Adam Silver is licking his chops thinking about Lakers' first round against the Denver Nuggets. Dončić versus Jokic. LeBron finally getting another shot against Denver. They can't get past them. 4-5 matchup in the first round of the NBA playoffs in the Western Conference. Adam Silver's loving that. That is a 9 p.m. start in prime time. That To me, no-brainer. Now, if you're a Dallas fan, Cade, are you upset? Are you trying to make sense of it? Do you wait and see how this goes? I see every side here. I could see you being blindly upset, but it sounds like Dallas was over this guy. And it sounds like he's a major pain in the rear end. Sounds like he's difficult to deal with getting him on the court. He's difficult with the conditioning. He's difficult with defense. He does not play any defense whatsoever. He's one of the worst defenders that plays actual consistent minutes in the NBA, which is saying something. So they're trying to change things up here. Do you commend a team for trying to change things up if it's destined to hit the same wall? Or is this overreaching?
If you're looking for defense, you can go out and get a good defensive player without having to trade your perennial superstar. But I agree with you that this was a lot more than that. This had to have been something internally.
They were over him. Yeah.
Had to have been. And I don't think this is like a fan, and I don't think this is a general consensus. If you're a fan of the Mavericks, yes, you've been disappointed by the lack of defensive production. You've been disappointed that you haven't seen him on the court. But in no shape or form are you wanting to full-on get rid of him. Right after a finals run, right after you've seen him play the best ball of his life, he's still averaging 28 points a game when he is on the court.
He's 25 years old.
There are other ways to get defensive help for this team that's in the play-in right now than to go out and trade Luka Dončić. I'm not exactly sure what's going on. I understand where you want help, but this is by far and away not the way to do it.
How do you think LeBron feels about this?
LeBron is excited because he's always wanted to play with Luka. There was that whole thing that happened when Luka was looking for a shoe brand, and LeBron was trying to convince him to go to Nike. Eventually went with Jordan, but there is some sense of LeBron that wants this to happen. In fact, Kyrie Irving was reaching out to LeBron saying, "Hey, come to Dallas," but LeBron's saying, "Hey, come to LA." There has been conversations between the players about this.
Now, LeBron wants to play with everybody, so there's something to that. He wanted to play with Davis. I mean, he got Davis there.
Huddle up.
66 Hitch X Vegas Flare. I'm one ready.
It's time to break down the bold.
That wasn't supposed to go automatically. Sorry about that.
It's Sunday Huddle presented by Hard Rock Bet. No. But LeBron wants to play with everybody. LeBron wanted to get Davis there. He got Davis there. Davis forced himself out of New Orleans. Wants to play with Kyrie, Kevin Love. He wants to play with all these guys. LeBron is le GM. That is him. But he was not involved in this. This was above his pay grade. This was done, as far as I'm concerned, based on what everybody's saying. I got to believe Shams on this. Sharania, who broke the story, that LeBron had no idea. Brian Windhorst said he was at a restaurant at dinner with his family when he heard about this. I got to think that LeBron is, to your point, intrigued with what it can be. But I do think the fact that this move was done superseding his power, I can't imagine he's too pleased about that. Because not like he was saying Anthony Davis is untouchable, don't touch Anthony Davis, he's going to stick here. But I don't know anything about their relationship. It seems like they've played well. They won a championship together. But I think the fact that if LeBron was not involved, I think this blockbuster of a trade, this drastic of a change of a trade, and if he is not involved, maybe he's at the point of his career he doesn't care. But I cannot imagine that the ego side of it is not bruised a little bit. Because we're not calling LeBron to see if he approves of changing up the identity and the form of this team. And we're not going to ask LeBron about that. I can't imagine his ego is not bruised in that. That's my take on that. I mean, in terms of wanting to play with him, I'm sure he's intrigued. This is a big change. You're going to have to change a lot of things about how you play. Because now you don't have a big that can be a defensive stout, be stout defensively, and play your offense through Anthony Davis. They've had for a number of years now. Anthony Davis has been that number one option on offense. Now you got to change that to Luka, a ball-dominant, guard-heavy, pick-and-roll ISO guard. Drive and kick, that's Luka. You're changing up a whole lot with that team. and you don't know if you're putting a square peg into a round hole with how he would fit, or if J.J. Redick and company are going to alter that to fit him. Same thing applies for Dallas. All Dallas knows is let Luka do his thing. Kyrie was the second fiddle, was the Robin to Luka's Batman. Kyrie was the perfect, get him off the bench, let him get his 20 to 25, be effective in the offensive game, take a load off of Luka, ball handling. That was Kyrie, and he was cool, and he was good at that because he was used to that. Kyrie did that in Cleveland. Did that with Brooklyn for a while. But to the same token, now Kyrie's got to take up the mantle of, I'm running this offense, and we got to get Davis. Me and him are going to get on the same page, and the same page fast. Because if we don't, and Dallas, who is, flirting with the 8 seed at the moment in the NBA, in a very competitive Western Conference, they're 26-23, and they're a game and a half out of being out of the top 10 seeds in the Western Conference. If this takes a long time to get running, and you're hanging around the 10 seed playing in the play-in, fans are not going to be happy. Because there's an explanation to why you're 26-23, because Luka's played half the season. And whether he was healthy or not determines a whole lot of success for that team. But if you're trying to change things up, and whether Kyrie, Davis, or if they get another star in there, Butler, if they can't figure it out, fans are going to ask a lot of questions about the validity of that management and the vision of the future. Because ownership and management was sick of Dončić. That was apparent. That is the reason they do this. I can't buy that this is, well, we think this makes us better now suited to win now. Nico Harrison, the general manager of the Dallas Mavericks, told the Dallas Morning News that an all-defensive big, all-defensive center puts us in the best position to succeed now and in the long term because defense wins championships. I can't buy that. I can't buy that. This is more about your displeasure with Dončić than it is with your infatuation with Davis. This is more about how Luka is being an annoyance to management, weight, conditioning, the amount of money he's going to cost, longevity with him. It's more about that than it is you being, dreaming about getting Anthony Davis in a Mavericks jersey. That is the bottom line. Why they would do it? I think more and more is going to start coming out about the real relationship between Dallas Mavericks brass and Luka, whether he was needy or difficult or if it was on their side too, whatever it may be. But there's one thing that's for sure is the fans loved him. And he was that franchise. Hard to change that up and not get blowback. But winning solves all. And if they don't start winning, there's going to be a lot of questions to answer if Lucas walks out of that calf strain with the Lakers and starts putting up 35 and 15 a game. That's all I'm saying. It's a very high risk, maybe high reward situation. But the risk is highlighted. We got to roll on here. We'll get into some football action a little later on in the program. We want to know something interesting. Super Bowl coming in next week. We've had about 25 Super Bowls since the turn of the century. And Kate and I are going to go through the best teams. Which are they? Who is that best team of this century? Are there multiple? Is it hard to choose? We'll break that down a little later on in the program. It's Sunday Huddle presented by Hard Rock Bet over on ESPN 106.3. With you till 12 p.m. from the City Place Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. Phone lines are open, 888-760-3776. Luka Dončić trade. As more information comes out about it, we will report as given. But Luka Dončić, Anthony Davis, essentially in a swap. The Utah Jazz get Jalen Hood-Schifino and a couple picks. The Mavericks get Dončić, or the Lakers get Dončić, Kleber, and Markieff Morris, while Anthony Davis and Max Christie and a first-round pick are going to the Dallas Mavericks. Just one first-round pick. A fleece for the Lakers. Robbed him. Getting a 25-year-old five-time first All-NBA player for one first-round pick and a guy you probably weren't going to sign to his next contract. That is an excellent deal. We roll on here. Sunday Huddle presented by Hard Rock Bet on ESPN 106.3.
Anajar and Levine.
Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 1063.
WUUB Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Roll with Hard Rock Bet for Big Game 59 because we're rolling out over $5.9 million in bonus bets. The big game kicks off Sunday in New Orleans, but get your share of Big Easy bonus bets now so you can place more bets on us instead of using your own cash. It's the big game rollout. $5.9 million in promos only on Hard Rock Bet. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Good Greek moving and storage. Your superhero movers.
It's the Good Greek Spiro. For the best move ever, go to goodgreek.com.
Good Greek moving and storage. Your superhero movers.
The 2024 Land Rover Discovery, built for those who seek both adventure and luxury. With 2.9% APR for 48 months, now is the perfect time to drive into your next journey. For well-qualified buyers, that's as low as $17.92 a month per $1,000 financed. Visit Land Rover Palm Beach today off Okeechobee Boulevard or head over to LandRoverPalmBeach.com and take home the 2024 Discovery today.
Years of hard work have led to this. It's National Signing Day on ESPN 106.3. Top sports talent from around Palm Beach County and the Treasure Coast pick their college homes. From in-state staples like the Gators and Knowles to national powerhouses like Ohio State. Tune in as our local stars continue their sports journey. National Signing Day is presented by HSS, Kaiser University, Smith Ball Bias and Prather, Culligan, and the Orange Bowl.
Is racking up tens of thousands of dollars in student loan debt really worth the 4-year degree? Not a lot of people think so anymore. A recent Wall Street Journal poll found that 56% of us believe that a skills-based education, that's a smarter investment than a 4-year degree. So why waste that time and money when there's an alternative right here in North Palm Beach that teaches the skills that people can actually use in today's world, and you can get those skills in just months, not years. I'm talking about CSB Media Arts Center, the home of Connecticut School of Broadcasting, which provides hands-on training in audio and video production, podcasting, sports broadcasting, social media marketing, filmmaking, coding, and so much more. For over 60 years, CSB has placed thousands of graduates in careers. Take a moment and visit GoCSB.com to schedule a tour. That's GoCSB.com.
F45 Training West Palm Beach offers functional group fitness classes reimagined. Sign up for F45 today and visit their West Palm Beach location. Featuring high-intensity group workouts that are fast, fun, and results-driven, F45 always has the right workout for you. Not to mention, it takes just 45 minutes. Visit F45training.com today to find a studio near you and officially join the F45 Training family. F45, team training, life-changing.
Hi, it's Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike. Today, the Pro Bowl is live on ESPN 106.3, where the best NFL players come together to, nobody knows why. It is football, right? Is it a carnival? Is it just a meet and greet? I don't know. But it'll be entertaining. We go live to Orlando at 3.
Let's be honest. If your performance in the bedroom feels more like, uh-oh, than whoa, you're not alone. But don't worry. We've got just the thing for you. Hexus MD's new Performance Blend. No awkward doctor visits, no prescriptions with crazy side effects. Just a powerful, easy-to-use pill that gets you back in the game. Hexus MD's new Performance Blend works in just 15 minutes, and it's stronger than the competition. Use discount code ESPN50 for 50% off your first order. Don't wait. Visit HEXISMD.com.
Let's go scatter to west, right, tight. F left. 372 Y stick Z spot.
This is Sunday Huddle with Colin Russo, presented by Hard Rock Bet.
According to Brian Windhurst, Luka Dončić was not viewed as the franchise building block going forward for them. Change their tune on how they feel about Luka Dončić. So what do? They go over to the Los Angeles Lakers and say, hey, Anthony Davis for Luka Dončić. Who says no? No team say no. Agreed terms last night. Maxi Kleber, Markieff Morris included on the side of Dallas. And for the Lakers side, they give up Anthony Davis and Hood Schifino going to the Jazz as the third team, part of this salary dump. And very bizarre. Max Christie also included alongside a first-round pick in one of the more stunning NBA blockbusters in the history of that league. Into the history of the NBA. I don't know if there has been a more, in this century, I don't know if there has been a more shocking, nobody had anything, nobody saw this coming. Nobody saw this coming. And now Dallas, I guess, had problems with his conditioning, and they didn't want to sign him to the Supermax this summer. $346 million over 5 years. They could have signed him to an extension starting this summer. And for some reason, Dallas did not want to do that. This is the same Luka Dončić who was a 5-time first All-NBA talent. First team All-NBA. 5 times in a row. And missed 20 games for the first time in his career. That is jumping the gun. And unless there is something that we don't know about, he's eating funnel cakes after the games and smoking cigarettes and doing all that stuff, unless it's that, and we don't know about what Luka does in his day-to-day, if he's hanging out by the South Florida Fair, getting a corn dog in between quarters, I don't know what reasoning into his diet habits that would make you so concerned. Because you have diet habit concerns about Zion Williamson, fair, because Zion Williamson never plays, and when he does play, he's out of shape. Luka, on the other hand, plays, and he's great. So how concerned are you about the diet when the on-court production is improving and getting there? That, to me, a little confusing. Now, Cade, from your perspective, do you think this is now the Mavericks sick of Luka off the court, on the court, sick of the personality, don't think he offers them on the court what he once did, change it up? What went wrong first that this made them decide, all right, we got to make a change here?
I'm still asking myself that question.
Sounds like they're concerned about his weight and his conditioning. How bad is it when he played 70 games last year and he went to the finals?
And he's still averaging 28 points a game this year when the Mavs they're in a playoff position. They're in the play-in. I guess the expectation was going into this year with the acquirement of Klay Thompson, like, we're supposed to be the best now. They weren't the best last year. I'm not sure if everyone was going star crazy over Klay Thompson. He's a good player, don't get me wrong. But there were still a lot of teams that were better than them going into this season that everyone was kind of expecting. They were a 5 seed last year. They were a 5 seed last year.
And that goes to show that all you need is just get into the postseason. Avoid the play-in, get into the postseason, and you're more than capable of making a run.
And there are so many other trades you could have made to help out your defense that didn't require you trading the one of the best players on earth. So I'm still wondering what went so wrong internally, because I don't think Luka had a problem with the city. He definitely didn't have a problem with the fan base. Everyone loves him. So what was going on that was so wrong? Was it just the fact that he couldn't play defense? Was it the fact that he was looking a little bit bigger than his predecessors? I'm not exactly sure, because it offensively was not hurting his production whatsoever.
And if you're Dallas and you were having second guesses about giving a supermax to a guy who's had 5 straight first-team All-NBAs, outside of his Rookie of the Year campaign, 5 straight. Nobody's ever done that. 5 straight. He's got the 3rd highest points per game in regular season NBA history, behind Chamberlain and Jordan. And he's got the 2nd highest playoff points per game behind just Jordan. You sign him to that supermax regardless. Pen to paper. I don't care if you're 500 pounds, Luka. Sign. That's what I would have done. Because you don't say no to a talent like that. The Hawks got Trae Young out of that draft day trade, and they still feel like they got fleeced in that Luka Dončić trade.
And I believe...
Trae Young's a 28-11 player.
And I believe he is the worst when it comes to his comparison between offense and defense. Trae Young is equally as bad on defense, if not worse, than Luka Dončić. And the Hawks wouldn't dream of trading Trae Young right now.
Hawks just got the first pick in the draft. And those fans are still rolling over, thinking about how much they got fleeced. 22-11, excuse me. But Trae Young has been a guy who's been a very good player, an undervalued player probably. And now you're going to give him away? Wow. Who are you going to give the Supermax to? Anybody? What are you, saving money? You have a salary cap. You could use it. Who are you saving the Supermax for? You don't want to give him $350 million? You want to give him $250 instead? Really? I don't know. A lot of explaining to do on Dallas' side. I don't care if he's 25 pounds overweight. If he's averaging 30 points in the postseason, you sign him to that extension. And now Dallas screws him. That front office screwed him because, number one, he didn't see it coming. And number two, going from Texas to California and being a high earner, you're losing millions of dollars in taxes. On top of that, Luka is now no longer eligible for a $350 million Supermax extension. Now he's got to jump through a number of holes to make the money back, potentially. That's all potentially. But now it's like $296 over 5. That's $50 million. That's a $50 million difference. And if he wants to jump through the hoops, he's going to have to sign a 1 to 2 year extension, get to the 10 years service time in the NBA, and then all of a sudden, per the new CBA rules, you could now get, it's like 35% of the team's cap, which is what a Supermax is. But you got to jump through a number of hoops now, comparatively, of just signing it with Dallas. He's going to be pissed off about that. He's going to be very pissed off when he gets back. Prove something, big star, motivate him. He's going to be very, very annoyed with Dallas. You created an enemy. Maybe it's better for Luka's career this way, but wow. I don't care if he's 50 pounds overweight and you don't see him for one day in the offseason. If he shows up and he's averaging 30 points per game doing a finals run in the postseason on one leg, on the bad calf, you sign him to the Supermax. Without a doubt. No question. On the flip side of things, on the other side, Cade and I will go through the best Super Bowl champions this century, presented by Hexus MD, so stay tuned to that. Should be a whole lot of fun with the Super Bowl coming up next week between the Chiefs and the Eagles. There's a couple great teams. There's a couple not so great teams that have won Super Bowls. There's only a few of the best, and we want to figure out who those teams are. We'll do that on Sunday Huddle, presented by Hard Rock Bet on ESPN 1063. Stick around for it. Not Russo and Rizzo. Sunday Huddle, ESPN 1063.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 1063.
Let's be honest. If your performance in the bedroom feels more like, uh-oh, than whoa, you're not alone. But don't worry, we've got just the thing for you. Hexus MD's new Performance Blend. No awkward doctor visits, no prescriptions or crazy side effects, just a powerful, easy-to-use pill that gets you back in the game. Hexus MD's new Performance Blend works in just 15 minutes, and it's stronger than the competition. Use discount code ESPN50 for 50% off your first order. Don't wait. Visit HEXISMD.com.
This Valentine's Day, give the one you love a gift with endless possibilities. Give a gift card to the Breakers Palm Beach. Breakers gift cards let you treat the one who matters most to the things they love the most, like irresistible oceanfront getaways, lessons at the Breakers' new golf and racket club, pampering at the exquisite spa, and shopping at the resort's stylish collection of on- and off-site boutiques. Gift cards may also be used for dining at the Breakers' renowned restaurants and bars, including Echo, Henry's Palm Beach, HMF, and Flagler's Steakhouse. What's even better, for a limited time, when you purchase a $500 gift card online at thebreakers.com, you'll receive an additional $50 on that card, compliments of the Breakers. This Valentine's Day, give the one you love a gift card to the Breakers Palm Beach and remind them why they fell in love with you in the first place. Visit thebreakers.com today.
Huddle up and catch all the playoff action at Hurricane Grill and Wings, where every day is game day. We're serving up the flavors you crave, from our refreshing new cocktails to our famous wings that are always better with Pepsi. And with our happy hour deals, you'll win all day. It's the perfect spot to catch all the football action with friends and family while enjoying your food faves, cocktails, and beer. Swing by Hurricane Grill and Wings and see what everyone's cheering about. Escape from the ordinary at one of our South Florida locations. Visit hurricanewings.com to find a restaurant nearest you.
Hi, I'm Scott Smith with Smith Ball Baez and Prather, Florida Injury Lawyers. As you have likely seen and heard, law firm advertising is at an all-time high. Attorney ads seem to be part of every radio and TV commercial segment. Some firms are even using paid actors and actresses to speak for them. At Smith Ball Baez and Prather, we know that the decision to hire a law firm should never be based on advertisements alone. It is our past results and many positive 5-star reviews that we encourage you to read at smithball.com to learn more about our law firm. We have board-certified lawyers. We have lawyers listed in the best lawyers in America and in super lawyers. But most importantly, we have experienced lawyers located right here in Palm Beach County and the Treasure Coast that are ready to be your advocate and your voice, and fully prepared to start fighting for your legal rights today. Our purpose, legal power. Our mission, huge results. If you've been injured, the lawyers at Smith Ball Baez and Prather will help. Call us at 500-HELP, 500-HELP. With Smith Ball Baez and Prather, help is just a local phone call away. Offices Palm Beach Gardens, Boca Raton, and Port St. Lucie.
Business owners, are your employees driving you nuts? Is money tight? Or have you just poured your heart and soul into your business and now it's time to retire and just relax? At Transworld Business Advisors, they have buyers from all over the world ready to buy your business now. Call for a confidential conversation about your business's current value. 561-203-5121. That's 561-203-5121, or visit tworld.com today.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 1063.
Daisy right, Soy, Blitz right, Travolta right, Pumpkin left, Alert Charlotte left, on 1.
This is Sunday Huddle with Colin Russo, presented by Hard Rock Bet.
If you've been in a car accident, truck accident, or suffered a slip and fall, my friends Mark Anajar and Glenn Levine over at Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys are here to fight for you. They don't charge you unless you win. They work tirelessly to get you the maximum compensation that you deserve. Why settle for just any attorney? Demand Anajar and Levine today, because that's the Anajar and Levine difference. All it takes one phone call to take back control of your life. Don't wait. Call for your free consultation today. That's 1-800-747-FREE. 1-800-747-3733. Take back control now with Anajar and Levine. All right, so in the spirit of Super Bowl season, the in-between, I have a couple questions. You could do the entirety of NFL history, but we will maintain it to about 25 years, a quarter century. In terms of from what we have seen from 2000 upward through 2025, it's been a lot of Super Bowl champions, a lot of great Super Bowl champions. Some are better than others. And Cade and I are going to go through some of them, our favorites, who we think are the best, who we think maybe a little undershadowed, need more spotlight. Who's the overshadowed one? Cade, you've come up with how many? 3?
3.
You have 3. All right, do you have them ranked?
I don't. I was actually going to ask you about that. Are we doing a 3 or are we doing a top 3? And I have to number these.
I would say...
Because I can.
Let's put our 3 out there.
Okay.
And then we'll determine from there.
Sounds good. Also, the next question. Is this best Super Bowl winning teams that played in the Super Bowl and we're just looking at that one game in the Super Bowl, or I'm talking throughout the entire season that they played in?
Resume, team, everything that worked out.
Got it.
Doesn't need to be perfect, but that's my criteria. Would you agree? Would you agree with that criteria?
And that's how I picked these three as well.
Okay. All right. So you got a little bed music for us?
I do. Let's make this thing happen.
All right. So what we'll do, we'll go back and forth here. And if we agree on one, then we could agree on one. No problem. We'll go one last.
Yeah, no problem.
3 teams apiece. Super Bowl champion since the turn of the century. I will count the St. Louis Rams because that Super Bowl was after 2000 had started. So that counts, all right? It's technically the 1999 season, but point is that team counts. All right? Cade, your first team is?
My first team is going to be the 2009 2010 New Orleans Saints. This was prime Drew Brees, played out of his mind this season. This team went 13-0 before losing their last 3 games. One seed was already locked up, kind of just bulldozed their way through the playoffs. Their one hiccup, I think, was in that NFC Championship against the Minnesota Vikings where they played really dirty against Brett Favre and a lot of legalities happened afterwards. But talking about offensive production, this is a team that put up 32 points a game. And they were putting up 40 points like it was nothing. Their defense wasn't the best. They were doing their jobs. But when it comes to offensive production and cruising their way through a Super Bowl, I loved the 2009 New Orleans Saints.
Good one. I'm going to start with the Brady team. Because there's about 9 of them this century. I'm going to go with which Brady team may it be. 2016 Patriots. Which one is this? This is a couple of things are notable about this year. Number one, it was the comeback year against the Falcons in the Super Bowl where they were down 28-3 in the third quarter. Well, this might not seem like the most obvious choice, but here's why I like this team. Number one, this was the year that Brady got suspended for deflating footballs the first 4 games of the year. So that was when he missed the first 4 games, I believe, and they had Garoppolo and Brissett basically as the 2 guys trying to get them to keep them above water. They still played well. They lost 1 game. They won 3. So they were in good shape coming into the season anyway. But this was an interesting year because it was a motivated Brady year. There was a lot to prove for the Patriots and how good they were. And I don't think you could do it much better than how they did it. Brady only started 12 games, went 11-1 as a starter. And then throughout the postseason, they had that, of course, the infamous comeback. And they have dominated basically their entire way, killing the Texans 34-16, killing the Steelers 36-17, all the way to the Super Bowl. That, and then plus winning in the fashion that they did, they had the number 1 defense, the number 3 offense. I think this is one of the best teams of all time quietly. 5 players above 500 yards receiving. LeGarrette Blount had 18 touchdowns on the ground. Not a lot of star power, but a motivated team. Right place, right time. Resume was all there. I like the 2016 Patriots.
A good one as well. I'm going to go with a Brady team for number 2. I'm going to take the 2004-2005 New England Patriots. This is a team that went 14-2, only had the 2 seed in the playoffs because Ben Roethlisberger in his rookie season kind of popped off. 15-1 Pittsburgh Steelers. Well, those 2 teams met in the AFC Championship. Brady put up 41 points against the number 1 defense in the Steel City. They went on to win the Super Bowl against the Philadelphia Eagles, who were 13-3 at the time. They were putting up 27 points a game, only allowing 16 points a game. This was a top 5, both offense and defense. And to come across against those Pittsburgh Steelers, who they lost to in the regular season by 14 points, and bulldoze them in the AFC Championship team. This team wasn't flashy. Tom Brady was playing well, but this team knew how to win. I like the 2004 New England Patriots.
Fun fact, from 2003 to 2004, the Patriots lost week 4, so that was in September, and then they didn't lose again because they won the Super Bowl that year. They didn't lose again till the following October 31st. They went about 13 months in between losses. 19 games in a row, I believe. That is how you do that. You know, a very undervalued part of Brady's career is those 2 seasons because it was pretty early on, but another good one there. In terms of my second one, you could have went a couple directions here. But I think, again, Brady's always involved here. Tampa Bay Buccaneers 2021. Why? Resume is the most important part here. That team is littered with talent. Team is littered with talent. But I'm most impressed with how they won those games. because that is a team that didn't even win their division. That was the Saints' real last hurrah to try to get something out of Breeze and those Sean Payton teams, who were good teams. Probably could have gotten a Super Bowl out of that. But they won in that building, in the Superdome in New Orleans. They beat them. I know they had the Taylor Heineke game. That was the only one who competed with them for most of it. It was Taylor Heineke on Washington Commanders in that opening round. But then they won versus the Saints. Then they beat the Packers in the conference championship game. That was Rodgers' real last hurrah. And then they killed Patrick Mahomes in the postseason in the Super Bowl. That, in terms of resume, the implication, the talent they had on that team, that was Antonio Brown, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Fournette, a good offensive line, Brady. Defensively, they had Winfield, Carlton Davis, Levante David, Devin White, Vita Vea, Shaq Barrett. That is a unreal talented team. And I like the resume. Saints, Packers, and the Chiefs. You beat Breeze, Rodgers, and Mahomes back to back to back when Brady was 40 years old. 100%. One of the best Super Bowl champions of this century in my book. Cade, you go ahead.
Definitely one of the commenting on the 2016 or the 2021 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Fantastic run at it. That team did go 11-5.
Sure.
So,
I would, but I love
resume. It took them a while,
and it was Brady's first year. At that, to me, no problem. Based on who they beat in the postseason, wow, 100% on my book. At least in my book. Go ahead.
I'll go the year before. I'll go the 2019-2020 Kansas City Chiefs.
That first Super Bowl.
That first Super Bowl against the San Francisco 49ers. Talk about a team that didn't necessarily go on an incredible, crazy regular season run, only 12-4, but a team that you knew was going to dominate everyone. 29 points a game, almost 30 points a game, 20 points allowed on defense. They were down at least 10 points in each playoff game they played in, ended up winning by double digits in each of those games. Wow. That team took a while to get going. But when you saw that team, prime Tyreek Hill, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Chris Jones, everyone was there. When that team could play up to the level that they were supposed to, no one was stopping them. Put them down early, no chance you can go back against the Kansas City Chiefs. I think that was their best team and their best Super Bowl winning team so far.
This is another interesting one. I'm doing this because I'm valuing one side of the ball here. But it's that 2000-2001 Ravens team. Trent Dilfer started at quarterback for that team. That team went 12-4. But what's special about that team is not what Trent Dilfer did, it's what that defense did. Fun fact, that team had 4 games where they scored under 10 points. 4 games. Lost all 4. They had 16 games where they scored above that, above 10 points. Went 16-0. They had 4 shutouts, and they allowed double-digit points throughout the entire season 7 times. That dominance. How about their playoff wins? Denver Broncos, they won 21-3. Played the Titans with McNair, 24-10. Oakland Raiders, there's a Rich Gannon team, 16-3 they won that one. Then they killed the Giants, 34-7 in the Super Bowl. Dominance might not be the most well-rounded team because they went back and forth with quarterbacks. It was Trent Dilfer, Tony Banks. But to me, in terms of what that team had to offer and how dominant they really were defensively, oh my goodness. Without a doubt in mind, one of the better teams that has occurred this century. So and it's not because they were great offensively. It's because they were how good they were defensively.
So that team was going to make my top 5. I didn't give them top 3, but that was in the running for me. Another team that was in the running for me that we got our man Brendan Wheeler over here on the YouTube chat. If you're streaming with us on ESPN West Palm Play on YouTube, he says the 2013 Seattle Seahawks.
Another good one.
That was my number 4 team. If you gave me
I don't
more,
trust the second-year quarterback, but I understand. But Wilson was good.
That team again,
dominated.
That team and the 2001-2002 Ravens are the exact same team when it comes to dominant defense, do enough on offense, and they killed teams in the playoffs. Not in the first 2 rounds, but I'm talking that Super Bowl, 43-8.
And it was against that great Denver Bronco team.
Against an MVP caliber Peyton Manning that everyone thought that was his time. He won the next year. He won 2 years later, but that was Manning's time. And the Seattle Seahawks did him so dirty in that Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That is another one in the running for me.
Now, not to rain on their parade, no shutouts, and had 12 games above double-digit scoring that they allowed.
Their defense was definitely not as good as that Ravens team, but their offense was considerably better than that Ravens team.
That Ravens team. 4 shutouts is ridiculous. 4 shutting out professional-level teams, ridiculous. That, if there's other ones that, you could pop out. A couple others that I was thinking about the St. Louis Rams team, but, that Tennessee, that Super Bowl was the McNair being a yard short game, which was an all-time game. And I know how prolific that offense was. And then that Packer team was also a great team that finally got through to the Super Bowl. There's a number of teams. The Kansas City, I didn't want to do any Kansas City teams because they have had classic Super Bowls, great Super Bowls, where it's been back and forth throughout that fourth quarter. I need a team that dominates. That is like utter domination, front and back, not even a contest, which is why I leaned in the realm of what the Ravens did comparatively or what the Patriots did comparatively to elsewhere, because you got to have a story to your postseason run. That Patriots team, 2016, Deflategate, chip on your shoulder. That was Brady had like 30 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. That team was awesome. Edelman, Gronkowski, James White. Then they had that terrific comeback win. Improbable. I love that. All right, so those were our 6 teams. Is there a best team of the bunch? Is that an 04 Patriot team?
The 04 Patriot team was really good. 2016 Patriot team was really good as well.
Now, if the Giants didn't exist, it would have been that 07 Patriot team.
Obviously. But we're working with Super Bowl winners. I think it has to be one of those Patriot teams. What was the second one you gave? The Bucks in 2021? See, I think this is the Bucks in 2021 if they didn't go 11-5. If we're talking a season-long resume, if the Bucks had won like in 2022, when they were, I believe, the 3 seed and they lost to the Rams in the divisional round.
Right. In their building.
The Rams were a really good team in that year.
Yeah.
That was another team that came in late and then kind of cut off strong with a 5 seed, I think they were. I don't think they won their division against the Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the 2021 Bucks team if they didn't go 11-5. When you're talking about a season overall, I'd probably go 04 Patriots instead.
The fun thing about the Bucks too is the Bucks didn't lose to basically anybody big all year except for the Saints. The Saints killed them. I remember it was that first game that Brady had with the Buccaneers. Killed them.
Yep.
Buccaneers lost that game 34-23. Then they played the Saints again middle of the year, lost 38-3. So they got killed in those 2 games. And then the other games they lost to the Bears 20-19. They lost to the Rams 27-24 and the Chiefs 27-24 back-to-back weeks. So they lost on close games except for that Saints team. That Saints team was the one that had their number. And they went into the postseason in their building, beat them. There's a story there.
For sure.
There's a story there.
The postseason run for the Bucks is one of the best teams this century by far.
Man, they were fantastic. And so that's why maybe call it a little recency bias, but the amount of talent that team had so many Hall of Famers, and it's just hard to overlook. Brady in his prove-it year, Evans, Godwin, Gronkowski, Antonio Brown. Oh my God, the talent that this team had. Brady went to that team for a reason, and he knew because they were close to win now already. That's how good that team was. We got to roll on here. We'll do No blitz to book this week. And, of course, the storyline of today has been Luka Dončić being exchanged for Anthony Davis with the Jazz involved, the whole thing. So now Luka Dončić is now going to be a Los Angeles Laker. Anthony Davis is going to be a Dallas Maverick, confirmed by Shams Charania late last night on the NBA news cycle. So that will be dominating a lot of the talking points throughout the week with the Super Bowl coming on and people kind of waiting for the preview of that to start. Now the NBA gets a bit of a shot in the arm with that type of move. We get to close out the program next on Sunday Huddle, presented by Hard Rock Bet. Colin, Russo, Cade Chumsland from the City Place Studios on downtown West Palm Beach at the City Place. We got to have some fun. We'll close out the segment next. It's Sunday Huddle, presented by Hard Rock Bet on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Good people, it's your boy Theo Dorsey. The big game is almost here, and it's now or never. Don't miss out on the last football game of the season with Prize Picks, the best place to win cash while watching the big game. Prize Picks is also giving away a free pick for the big game, where one of the starting quarterbacks will only need to throw 1 yard to win. If you're correct on at least one more stat projection, you can win some real cash. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Prize Picks is the best place to win real money this football season. Which players are going off? Which ones aren't? Make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your sports opinions into real money all season long on Prize Picks. Download the app today and use code THEOD to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code THEOD to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game.
West Palm Beach is the place for spring training, and Cacti Park of the Palm Beaches has all the action around the Nationals and the Astros. It's time. Enjoy the biggest stars in Major League Baseball. Grab a cold drink and indulge in some amazing ballpark eats. Need a collectible? Be one of the first 2,000 fans on opening day to snag an exclusive Travis Scott bobblehead. Experience big league action up close and personal. Tickets are on sale now at cactipark.com. Don't wait. Secure your spot today and let's play ball.
At St. Lucie Battery and Tire, batteries came before tires. We've been selling and servicing all types of batteries for over 50 years. So when you need a battery for nearly anything, we have it, as well as the fast professional installation you need. We carry premium batteries for all your needs: automotive, commercial, marine, RV, and specialty. We also offer delivery and on-site installation, serving our customers quality products for over 50 years in the home of honest, reliable service. Go to slbt.com and book your next appointment.
Can't make it to New Orleans for the big game? Join us at Duffy's Sports Grill with 2 ways to score big on Sunday, February 9th. Duffy's Big Game Day experience, starting at just $25, includes a guaranteed front row seat, complimentary welcome drink, touchdown tots, official Duffy swag, and more. Tailgating on your home turf? Pre-order your game day eats and score double MVP points. Visit Duffy'sMVP.com to learn more. At Duffy's, our game is always on.
Introducing the 2025 Land Rover Discovery Sport. Designed for those who crave adventure, style, and performance. And now it's more accessible than ever with 3.9% APR for 60 months. For well-qualified buyers, that means payments as low as $1,837 a month per $1,000 financed. Visit Land Rover Palm Beach, located on Okeechobee Boulevard, or head over to LandRoverPalmBeach.com today for more information on how you can take home the 2025 Land Rover Discovery Sport.
Years of hard work have led to this. It's National Signing Day on ESPN 106.3. Top sports talent from around Palm Beach County and the Treasure Coast pick their college homes. From in-state staples like the Gators and Knowles to national powerhouses like Ohio State. Tune in as our local stars continue their sports journey. National Signing Day is presented by HSS, Kaiser University, Smith Ball Bias and Prather, Culligan, and the Orange Bowl.
Kaiser University's flagship campus, the 100-acre residential campus at 2600 North Military Trail in West Palm Beach, extends Kaiser University's educational offerings to over 100 degrees in the heart of South Florida. Kaiser University also has an athletic program with 20 national championships, including the 2024 Women's Swimming and Diving Championship and 2023 football, lacrosse, and men's swimming and diving titles. Visit KUSeahawks.com for the latest.
Roadrunner. This is Sunday Huddle with Colin Russo, presented by Hard Rock Bet.
Close out the program here on a fine Sunday morning. On a Sunday. First Sunday of February the 2nd in 2025. It's Colin Russo, Kate Chumsden with you on Sunday Huddle, presented by Hard Rock Bet on ESPN 106.3. We're from the City Play Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. NBA dominated the sports waves yesterday with Luka Dončić being involved with the trade. Wow. How about that, right? To the Los Angeles Lakers. Jazz were also involved for a bunch of second-round picks and Jalen Hood-Schifino. But the main part of the trade is Anthony Davis, Max Christie in a 2029, I believe, first-round pick for the Los Angeles Lakers in exchange for Luka Dončić, Maxi Kleber, and Markieff Morris. Dallas, you're a little confused on why they did that. Lakers, it's sort of a no-doubter. Dallas is the one who came to the Lakers and said, hey, Dončić is available. Would you trade him for Anthony Davis? They said yes. Apparently, the Mavericks went to one other team expressing interest in trading Luka Dončić out in exchange for a star, and that other team declined. I got to assume that other team is Milwaukee for Giannis.
Could be.
That makes the most sense, I would feel like. Hey, Milwaukee, we got Luka. You got Giannis. Both sides probably in a standstill right now. Would you make a swap? That would be the one that pops out to me because any team that's in contention wouldn't make a trade for their big star in that sense. Another team that has now been floated around here is maybe getting involved with one of the two teams, the Lakers or the Mavericks, post the fact because I'm under the impression that one or both of these teams are not done with trades and putting together rosters. And the name that always pops around in the trade rumors the last couple weeks, but nothing has happened from it yet, has been Jimmy Butler. Does Jimmy Butler get involved with either of these two teams that just made trades?
Is Jimmy Butler what either of these teams want?
If you're looking to win a championship, the upside is there if you're thinking in the short term. So, which is why Dallas came to the forefront of my mind.
Does Dallas want an offensive player like Jimmy? Because I feel like they already have a bunch of those. Same with the Lakers. Neither of these teams want a player like Jimmy Butler. Or maybe I'm just ignoring a great talent like Jimmy.
I would say that they want a playoff performer. And it's weird because they had one. They had a good one in Luka Dončić. But now all of a sudden you're trying to put together a roster that is going to be a dangerous out in the postseason. Jimmy Butler could be a part of that. He'd be short-term. I don't know whether you'd have to sign him. I don't know if the contracts would work because of how expensive he is or will be. So there's a bunch of different things that it's probably above my pay grade with the CBA. They'd probably have to ship out Thompson. They'd probably have to ship out one of the two bigs, Gafford or Lively. They'd probably have to get 2 or 3 other teams involved for salary dumps. But it's possible because I don't know how Dallas can sit there and act like they're well fed with the return that they have got for Dončić. I feel like they're not done. And maybe the Lakers aren't done either. But I don't think the Lakers would be in play for Butler because I don't think, number one, they can afford him, and number two, they don't want the headache. Because if Luka's already a headache, why would you get another guy in there? But to the same token, I think for the Mavericks' perspective, they need a player that will make a difference for them now. That will make a difference for them between this year and into next year, maybe the year after, and then you're probably done. Jimmy Butler fits that mold. 35 years old. He's not the youngest guy in the world who's only got probably a couple playoff runs left in him. You don't have to be the major star. You could be a second or third fiddle. And now I don't know if that's a problem for Butler, but I cannot imagine the Heat are at least not they got to be calling, just inquiring about possibilities because they need to get Butler out of there. And the Heat have no leverage in terms of moving him. So you might, if the salaries work, be able to get him, Butler, for pennies on the dollar.
And the Mavericks saved a little bit of money because I believe I saw something that said Anthony Davis declined his trade bonus.
Right, which is like an extra $8 million.
So there's a little bit of money there for the Mavericks.
Which tells you that they're going to do that. Which tells you that they're going to be active. It tells you that they're not done. Now, whether that means in the smaller aggregate and get a couple of pieces or that one big splash still. It's a little strange to put together a Brooklyn Nets-like roster with Harden, Durant, and Irving and just try to make it work halfway through the season. But if you need upside, you want to feed the fans, you're going to have to put together a better product, a better roster than what you have currently.
Now, if you're Jimmy Butler, and I know Jimmy Butler doesn't have a say in this, but are you happy if you go to Dallas?
Yes, I think so. Because they are in playoff contention. It depends if they pay him. Now, I don't know if they would pay him. Doesn't sound like I don't know. You don't make the trade unless you're going to give him at least something, because I think that's the bottom line for him. You got to pay him, and you got to make sure he fits into that offense. Kyrie, if he's willing to lean into the point guard role, they got a big offensive-minded big in Davis, and then you get Butler in the mix being that little pseudo mid-range 2 and 3 perimeter player. I don't know if it'd work, but in terms of what they need to show, because they got a Luka-sized hole in that franchise right now, you need to fill it with something.
Are you not at least a little bit concerned if you're Jimmy Butler, though? Your problem was with ownership in Miami. Now you're going to a guy in a GM
who was no BSing, and then he was trying to no BS, and then he didn't like how Luka was handling it,
and
so
then
he
just
got
shipped off Luka. So are you not a little bit concerned?
I don't know if Jimmy's concerned. That would flip it. I would say maybe the ownership is concerned about bringing in somebody like that. If Luka was such a problem to them with diet concerns, sticking to basketball, just putting it all out in the court, if that was their problem, bringing in Jimmy Butler might not be the best move. I'm just spitballing. Because it sounds to me like this team is not done. Because that Luka-sized hole, Anthony Davis doesn't satisfy the fan in that sense. You are going to get boozed that first home game. I believe they're on the road right now. You're going to get boozed that first game.
Do you think the Mavericks loss 2 nights ago to the Detroit Pistons was kind of the breaking point here?
Well, Luka hasn't played, but maybe. Luka hasn't played.
Losing by 15 to the Pistons. You know what? That's it.
That's it. Goodbye, Luka. Luka's in street clothes. But apparently Luka's going to be ramping up his conditioning here and getting back on the court as soon as possible. Lakers won that trade by a handsome margin. No-brainer for the Lakers. I think now you got your marquee star, showstopper, that is going to take control. Hard Rock Bet, get started now. Go download the Google Play Store, the Apple App Store. Go to hardrock.bet right now to get started. Check out a parlays. Put together little as $1 up to 20 legs and put together a parlay. Even if you're not sure what to bet, check out the Discover page. Other people make bets for you. They make parlays for you. You can tag along, just a few taps. That's how easy it is on the Hard Rock Bet out. They have promos you can jump in on. NBA is just going to get a whole lot more interesting. Wait till the Mavericks play the Lakers and take the over on the points in that one. There's a little heads into that. It's been a great Sunday Huddle presented by Hard Rock Bet with Kate Chums and Colin Russo. We send you off. Try Hard Rock Bet. $100 back in bonus bets if that first bet does not win. It's offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida. The wager. Terms and conditions apply. Considered by gambling. Call 1-888-ADMITTED. Local lineup this week in spite of the Super Bowl. Should be a whole lot of fun. We'll be back at it next week to preview the Super Bowl. ESPN 106.3.
The preceding program was paid for in full by Hard Rock Bet. Advice and opinions expressed during this program were solely those of the guests or hosts of this program and not of ESPN 106.3 or Good Karma Brands.
Hi, this is Scott Smith of Smith Ball, Baez, and Prather